guys, welcome back to my channel like Talibin Ladki. I hope you all are doing fine. It's already the end of the year and this video is going to be the last video of 2021. Now this year I gained 200 plus subscribers on my YouTube channel and thank you so much. We are now a family of 700 plus subscribers, and in this video I'm going to tell you my top 5-star reads. So without any further ado, let's get started. So this year I read 50 books and this was the first time I kept a track of the books that I have read. So 50 for me is an insane amount because I have never read these many books in a single year. So yes, seeing that number 50 and seeing all the books that I have read gives me a satisfaction and a feeling of achievement that I cannot describe in words. And out of these 50, there were like 7 or 8 books that I have rated 5-star. Now in this video, I want to dive deep into the books because all these books, like these 7 or 8 books, I have recommended these books or I have talked about these books throughout the year in different videos, maybe wrap-up videos, reading vlogs or book recommendations. So almost every book is talked about on this channel. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tell you the name of the book, 1 or 2 liner about the book, and I'll mention the video link in the description box in which I have talked about the book in detail so that you can go to that particular video, and I'll also mention the timestamp so you can go to that video, navigate easily, go to the timestamp and listen to my views in detail and my opinions about the book. If you want some more insights in this video, I don't want to dive deep and keep this video very crisp, and let's just get started. Okay, so this year didn't start with like 5-star reads. I was kind of disappointed with my January reads, which were all like 3 or 3.5 for me. But then this book came in my life and I got so motivated to read all the books throughout the year. So the book is Radiance of a Thousand Suns by Manpreet Sodhi Someshwar. Now look at the cover, the gorgeous cover. We have already talked about this book on my Instagram story many times. But yes, this book is basically a story about 4 females: Nikki's mother, Nikki's grandmother, and there are 2 more women actually, Jyot and Nooran. So Jyot is a lady who is connected to this family somehow, and Nooran, who is basically a caretaker and a helper of Nikki and Nikki's family. So this book passes through like 3 different generations and has 3 different accounts of history. First is the partition of India, second is the 1984 anti-Sikh riots, and third is the 9/11 Twin Tower attack. This book has allegory of Mahabharata, the great Indian epic, and also the mentions of legendary poets like Bulle Shah and the Persian poets. Means if you're someone who loves prose and poetry, then you will get so many references that you will fall in love with the names of the people or the poets mentioned, because the poets are extremely legendary ones. This is the first book. If you want to see the detailed review of this one, I will mention the video in which I have talked about this one, so you can watch over there. Let's move on to the second book. Now the second book will be Am and the Big Home by Jerry Pinto. This was my first book by Jerry Pinto sir, and oh my god, this was the most surprising book of the year. This one was recommended to me by a friend and I didn't check the synopsis or whatsoever about the book. But I thought that this was a love story by the title. But it is a memoir. It is a fictional memoir of Jerry Pinto's mother, who he used to call as M. And Big Home is basically his father. So this book talks about the mental illness of his mother, who suffered from bipolar disorder. The reason I gave this book 5 stars was because this book is written in such an exquisite manner that you will need time to understand this book. This book is something that requires a lot of time and patience, and also good mental stability or peace at the time, because it talks about mental health. And yes, I gave it 5 stars because this one was one of the most beautiful books that I have read this year. Now the third book is Silent Patient. I think it's a very, very popular book and people have different views on this. Some people absolutely loved it and some people have mixed feelings about this. But of course I fall in the former category because I rated it 5 stars. Now the reason I rated it 5 stars was because this was my first thriller book, and also as a beginner, if you're a beginner, then this book literally has the easiest language that I have encountered, and the plot was very much engaging, and the climax was not something that I expected or I could expect even in my nightmares. That was not something I expected or anticipated at any point. So for me as a beginner, this is the book that pushed me towards reading or researching more about the thriller genres. So if you're someone who is a beginner, then I think you will like or love Silent Patient. Since I haven't reviewed this book on my booktube channel, I'll tell you about this story or the book synopsis. Now, Alicia is someone who is convicted of her husband's murder. Since the death of her husband, she has refused to talk. So you never know if she's the real murderer or not, but all the circumstantial evidences were pointing towards her. So now she is in this mental asylum because she of course refused to talk. Now there is this person called Theo. Theo is extremely intrigued by her case and wants to make her talk anyhow. He is a criminal psychotherapist and he is appointed as her personal, personal doctor. And now the question is, will this mystery be solved? Will Alicia ever talk? So this is basically a psychological thriller, and believe me, if you're someone who is not into books or who is not into thriller genre, give it a try, you will surely love it. Now my next 5-star read was Mouse by Art Spiegelman. Now basically this is a graphic novel, not novella. So this is a graphic novel, and the reason I gave it 5 stars because there was no reason to give it like 4 or 4.5. This is basically a graphic memoir of Art Spiegelman's father, who was in the concentration camp during Jew Holocaust and survived. So this is basically a memoir. I have talked about this book in this video, so you can click that video to know more about it. But yes, this was my 5-star read, and it's a graphic one. So if you're someone, or if you know someone who really wants to read a graphic novel, they can start with this one. Now my next 5-star read was Human X by Hank Kang, and I won't say a word about this book in this video because this book literally traumatized me. This book talks about the political uprising or the Gwangju uprising in South Korea. So you can watch my live reaction, how traumatized I was in this video, and I'll put the timestamp. So watch it. But yes, this is one of those rarest books that I really want people to read, but at the same time I don't want them to suffer mentally. But yes, if you're someone who is looking for a traumatizing reading, so you can actually pick Human X by Hank Kang. The next book that was a 5-star read is Nation of Idiots by Daksh Tyagi. Again, this is a socio-political satire on modern India, and you can see these sticky notes. I have annotated this book heavily because every line of this book was not only eye-opening but also hilarious. If you don't understand or appreciate satire, let me tell you, you are going to be heavily offended by the book. So don't read it if you don't understand satire, that's it. So I have also reviewed this book. You can watch the review in this video. Now my next 5-star read is also I won't say traumatizing, but a very disturbing read. And it's also a read that I want everyone to read because it's about India. But again, at the same time, it is not a book that I will recommend to under 18 kids, and also not to someone who is not into, serious or disturbing topics. The book is The Adivasi Will Not Dance by Hansda Suvinder Shekhar. So this is the book, and this is a translated one. Okay, this was translated from Bengali, I think. I'll just check and put it out here. Now this book is basically about Santhal community of India. Santhal community is a tribal community from Jharkhand, and this is a short story collection, and I have rated these stories like this. So if you want to watch the detailed review about the stories and a glimpse into the stories, you can watch this particular video. Okay, my next 5-star read was Toto Chem, A Little Girl by the Window. This is basically a children's literature book that will make you extremely happy. This book is basically a memoir of this Japanese person called Tetsuko. She has written about her school life, her primary education or school life in this book. The main focus is on the school, her teachers, the schooling system, the education, the way it was imparted, everything around that. It will literally make you fall in love with your school and you will be like, can I go to this school? So that is literally the feeling that this book gave me. I have talked about this book in this video, so you can check this one as well. And this brings me to my last 5-star read of 2021. And this is Cobalt Blue by Sachin Kundelkar. And this is basically translated by Jerry Pinto. So this book was written in Marathi. So this is an English translation. Now I haven't talked about this book on BookTube, so I'll tell you. This book is basically a melancholy tale about two siblings, Anuja and Tane, falling in love with their, paying guest. So this book is about sexual orientation, LGBTQ plus love story. The reason I gave it 5 stars was because the emotion that it gave me. I felt sadness and I was in that melancholy mood throughout the book. And that is a sign of a powerful storytelling. If you're someone who really wants to read something, a pleasant storytelling, then you can pick Cobalt Blue. It is, I won't say it's an extraordinary book in terms of plot, but it is very powerful in terms of what it talks about. So that was all the books I have rated 5 stars, and out of 50, picking up these books was quite a task because there were lots of books that I rated 4.5 and also 4. I'll just quickly tell you my bonus recommendations. So this is the list of the books that I've read this year. A Modest Proposal by Jonathan Swift, Interpreter of Melodies by Jhumpa Lahiri, Loneliness of Hira Barua by Arupa, Almond by Abul Pyongson, and we have 10840 Ma by Mahasweta Devi, and the last one is Taurasi by Satyavyas. So with that, we have completed this 1 year, and oh my god, I'm happy, and I also have mixed feelings because I don't know what I'll do next year. But thank you for watching this video, and thank you if you're a subscriber, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe because I also make videos on movies, miscellaneous videos, just videos with my brother, mother, and other people, and also talk about writing and writing tips, etc. So there are a lot of niches that I cover, and there's a playlist on my channel that you can just check for the simplification. So do watch it if you haven't. And I also write stories, so if you are someone who is into stories and poetry, do give my stories and poetries a listen and also give me a feedback. And with that, happy new year. Bye.